Right now on News 3 this morning, Saturday, the last days of spring are going out with a bang with heavy rain, hail, and flooding overnight. A look at some of the areas hardest hit and the weather threat set to hang around this weekend. Plus, construction season continues. The lane closures and detours this weekend that could impact your drive to and from downtown. Your news starts right now.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning on this June 15th. Welcome to News 3 this Saturday morning. I'm Josh Breiter with meteorologist Chris Reese. We're going to get to Chris's forecast in just a little bit, but an active night in and around the Madison area. Powerful thunderstorms knocked down large tree branches. At least one tree nearly split in half. Just before 12:30, the National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning for Dane County. The flooding was evident particularly around the Shorewood Hills neighborhood. Madison police reported covered streets, stalled vehicles, and downed trees citywide, causing a strain on city emergency services. The storms also caused chaos at the Dane County Regional Airport. Just after 11 last night, 4 planes were circling over northern Iowa and Illinois, waiting for the storms to pass. One flight from Denver and one from Newark were diverted to Chicago, while the others landed in Madison shortly after midnight. Although we're clear from that line of storms, the heat and humidity is on again. Chris is here now with your forecast.
That's right, Josh. The heat and humidity is on. 3 alert days. That includes today. That includes Sunday. That also includes Monday. And that is all for the heat and humidity. In fact, we could have heat indices well over 100 degrees some of those days. If it's not feeling like over 100, it'll certainly feel like the upper 90s. We are seeing clear skies. They're hazy skies because of the new air mass that is coming into town. 73 degrees right now. Dew points are in the upper 60s, and we will continue to watch those dew points creep up as we go through the rest of the day. That is going to add to the heat and humidity feel out there. 90 degrees by the time we get you towards lunchtime, 95 by the time we get you into the afternoon. Then we go into your Father's Day Sunday by 9 o'clock, feeling like close to 90 degrees into your Father's Day afternoon. It will feel like the triple digits for pretty much all of us here in South Central Wisconsin. So that is what we are tracking over the weekend. That is the reason for all of the alert days. One of the things to be mindful of while you're out there is pavement buckling with all of this heat. Here's a live look at the belt line at Park Drive right now. No pavement buckling, but traffic is running smoothly except for the construction down on Verona Road. We'll head in downtown. Lots of folks headed over to the farmers market and headed towards the Capitol. There is a little bit of some back up there, so be prepared for that. Otherwise, traffic is smooth across Dane County this morning.
All right, Chris, thank you. 8:02 this morning. Right now, there are quite a few projects and events going on that could affect your drive this weekend. We'll start with closures on West Washington Avenue. Westbound traffic heading away from the Capitol won't be able to go straight through Proudfoot Street and Regent Street. This is the area behind the Kohl Center close to the Budget Bicycle Shop. Those lanes will be closed through 7 a.m. Monday so crews can replace concrete there. On the other side of the Capitol Square, East Mifflin Street is now closed between North Patterson and North Brewerly Streets. This is ahead of tonight's Steely Dan Doobie Brothers concert at Breese Stevens Field. Northbound North Patterson will also be closed starting this afternoon between East Washington and East Mifflin. Both are expected to reopen by 4 a.m. tomorrow. Also in downtown Madison today, you'll want to keep an eye out for people running across the street with canoes. It's the 39th annual Isthmus Paddle and Portage Race. Canoers paddle for a mile loop around Lake Mendota, then take off on foot from James Madison Park across the Isthmus to Lake Monona. From there, they paddle for 2.5 miles to the finish line at Old Brick Park. Runners will be carrying their canoes from James Madison Park along Hamilton Street up to the square, then along the northeast side of the Capitol on Pinckney Street. From there, they'll head down King Street to John Nolan Drive, Blair Street intersection to launch their boats again at Law Park. You'll want to avoid those areas from 9 a.m. to 11 this morning. And it's one of the more risque summer traditions here in Madison. The World Naked Bike Ride is also making its way through the downtown area this morning. This is the 9th year for the event. The ride starts at 11, but participants haven't announced where they're going to start. Riders usually go around the Capitol, so if you're planning a farmer's market trip with the kids, heads up or maybe heads down. Developing this morning, police are looking into what caused a house to explode in northern Wisconsin. It killed one woman and injured 2 others on Friday. Authorities say the home in Cable, Wisconsin was blown apart and engulfed in flames. A woman died, and this morning her husband is in critical condition. A firefighter was also injured but is expected to be okay. Right now, an investigation is underway into the DeForest chief of police. Village staff members tell us Chief Dan Furseth has been on paid administrative leave since May 23rd. They say he has been fully cooperative in the investigation. The village hired someone to investigate after a YouTube video surfaced showing what appears to be Furseth making racially charged remarks about a group of black men who were going to Steak and Shake. Village Administrator Steve Fulgren says the video is actually 10 years old or more. It was posted on the social media site 2.5 years ago. Right now, police are asking for your help finding a man involved in a possible child enticement incident. They say the suspect approached a group of children near a park in McFarland and asked if they wanted a ride. McFarland police released this sketch of the man. He's described as white, between 30 and 45 years old, with black, partially shaved hair, a beard, and a lip ring. Last weekend, police say he was driving a white Dodge Caravan when he approached a group of young children in the Red Oak Trail and Leanne Lane area. According to police, the man asked if the children needed a ride without attempting to force them into the vehicle.
This case is kind of unique because it may be difficult at this point, based on what we have, to file charges for enticement. But certainly we want to find this individual, interview them, find out why they did what they did, and try to prevent that from happening again.
If the suspect is found, police say it will be up to the district attorney on whether to press charges. Right now, Madison Mayor Paul Soglin is floating the idea of a $17 per vehicle city registration fee, although he isn't even sure if he supports the idea yet. The fee would cover transportation costs and free up general fund dollars to cover an expected budget shortfall next year. But Soglin says it's a regressive tax, something he's never supported. He says the city may have no choice but to consider it to cover the costs of basic city services, and they need to start talking about it now if they need that money for next year.
But we've reached a point here because of all these previous capital commitments and all these previous commitments to expand services for which we don't have sufficient funds. I think it's got to be an option to consider.
The $17 fee would come on top of a recently enacted $28 county wheel tax. State law says it must pass the council by September 4th to be in place by January 1st of next year. 8:06 this Saturday morning. The heat and humidity are rising here in town, and we have several alert days ahead. Here's a live look over the Capitol on this Saturday morning. Kind of sticky out there to start us off. Set to be a scorcher at today's farmers market. Kristen next with your first alert forecast. And there are several shows and movies you can check out to escape from the heat. Will has your 3 things to watch. The news is back in the morning right here on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
It's a beautiful morning here on the patio, but it's also already hot and humid outside on this Saturday. The sun shining, the humidity and temperatures on the rise. That is the reason that today is an alert day, especially as we get you into the afternoon and evening. You'll feel it. It'll feel like anywhere from 95 to 102 degrees. So make sure that you're reducing that outdoor activity today. Make sure that you are also staying as hydrated as possible. Heat advisories in effect for all of south central Wisconsin. That snakes its way up towards the Northwoods. You get towards the Twin Cities. That's where there is an excessive heat warning in effect. We are not the only ones dealing with the heat at all. That pretty much goes all the way down the Mississippi River Valley towards northern Mississippi, and the St. Louis metro area also under the excessive heat warning today. Already it feels like 88 degrees in St. Louis, 84 in Kansas City. These are the heat indices that we are going to watch as we go throughout the day. That core of heat will be moving up the nation's heartland and will be expanding northeastward into Wisconsin. Also high are the dew points today. We'll be tracking those dew points as well, already in the low 70s just to our south and west, mid 60s here in Madison, where the dew point is 66, 73 the temperature right now. And in terms of what it feels like, it's going to be feeling a whole lot warmer as we just move things forward a couple of hours. 73 right now, 80 as we get over towards Boscobel. You see the warmer temperatures moving in from the south and west. You factor in what the sunshine will do and add to the temperature later on throughout the day, and this is where we start to get things to toast up a little bit. By 1 o'clock, feeling like 86, or it will be 86 by 1 o'clock rather, 90 by the time we get you towards 4:30. Those 80s are going to hang around pretty much overnight as well. Now we factor in the humidity. It's going to feel like 90 by the time we get you towards lunchtime this afternoon, feeling like 95 here in Madison. Check out Janesville and Boscobel. It'll feel like 102 in those locations. Triple-digit heat continues as we get you into your Father's Day Sunday, feeling like 103 into the afternoon. So the grill will not be the only thing that has a little bit of a sizzle to it. So will just about everything else that you touch as you step outside. So we'll keep that heat and humidity around for your Sunday as well. That will actually be the warmest day. 90 degrees this afternoon. Will continue to be partly sunny, hot, and humid. We go to the next 7 days. We'll have alert days for Sunday and Monday as well. On Monday night into Tuesday, a cold front will come through. That will bring the chance for additional showers and thunderstorms, but then temperatures essentially level off in the low 80s after that. The humidity comes down as well. So once we get through the weekend, then it will actually feel like a Wisconsin summer.
Certainly a weekend to be safe out there.
Yes, it is. And make sure you're checking on the elderly, checking on the young ones as well. Don't forget the back seat. Don't forget the pets. Lots of folks susceptible to the heat. You want to just make sure you are covering your bases with making sure everyone's all right.
You bet, Chris. Thank you.
No problem.
Actress Millie Bobby Brown has left Twitter over cyberbullying. The 14-year-old Stranger Things star deleted her account after she was targeted with a hurtful hashtag and meme. Last year, a Twitter user whose account has since been suspended spread a rumor that Brown was Islamophobic. The rumor led to the hashtag Take Down Millie Bobby Brown and a barrage of negative claims linking the actress falsely to homophobia. Ewan McGregor is ready to shine. He's set to star in Dr. Sleep, based on the novel Stephen King wrote as a sequel to The Shining. McGregor will play Danny Torrance, the boy from The Shining, who's carried out the trauma of the events at the Overlook Hotel into adulthood. Happening now, if you're looking for an escape from the heat this weekend that doesn't involve leaving your house, you're in luck. Our Will Loper has your 3 things to watch.
Did you return my blue jacket?
Yes. And after a very intense conversation with their saleswoman that ended with both of us in tears, I got you a full refund.
I want it back.
Absolutely.
Now streaming on Netflix is the romantic comedy Set It Up.
We wanted to shut down the elevator for a few minutes so 2 people could fall in love. Whoa, who's this guy?
You need to go, sir.
It's go time. Oh my God, this is how it always starts in my nightmare.
What are you doing?
What is he doing?
Stop doing that, please. Stop that right now.
I need to be free of this.
2 underpaid employees work to match-make their bosses and hopefully get the raise they deserve.
We know everything about them, what they like, what they don't like. We are the men behind the curtain.
Does Rick have good Yankees tickets?
No. He watches from the bleachers like a common peasant. Yeah, of course he does.
Set It Up is streaming on Netflix now.
We're full-on parent trapping.
No, we're not.
Okay, I think I've seen the Lindsay Lohan classic enough times to know that we're full-on parent trapping hard.
I think I know where my dad went. That's right in the middle of the Devil's Sea.
It will be an adventure.
Death is not an adventure.
New on home video this week is the Tomb Raider reboot.
There's an organization called Trinity. It's looking to start a global genocide.
Alicia Vikander stars as Lara Croft, a globe-hopping, arrow-shooting woman who must save the world.
I've been on this island. Your father, he put me here. Now I see the likeness, intelligence, the recklessness.
Tomb Raider is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
I have a lot of catching up to do with my dad.
Good throw, son. That's my boy. Go on, Buzzy.
Oh, you're a great dad. Yippee!
And there's plenty of movies featuring fathers and their children to choose from this Father's Day.
I am your father.
But why not bond with Dad over an adventure in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Dad! Oh, Dad! Oh, Dad! Ah! Head for the fireplace!
Sean Connery and Harrison Ford star as father and son who must save the world from the Nazis who want to take the Holy Grail.
The quest for the Grail is not archaeology. It's a race against evil. If it is captured by the Nazis, the armies of darkness will march all over the face of the earth. Do you understand me? This is an obsession, Dad. I never understood it.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Those people are trying to kill us. I know, Dad! It's a new experience for me. It happens to me all the time.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Boy who was separated from his family found a wolf separated from its pack.
Here's the new trailer for the Ice Age adventure, Alpha. It's about a young hunter and an abandoned wolf who learn to rely on each other, the origin of man's best friend. Their survival story finds its way to theaters August 17th.
We need to change people's perceptions about superheroes, and Elastigirl is our best play.
Better than me?
And you don't have to wait any longer to see the superpowered Parr family back in action. 14 years after the original, Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and the whole family are back in The Incredibles 2. The first studio animated film of the summer is ready to make its mark. Analysts give the superhero sequel a chance to break the debut record for an animated movie set by Finding Dory at $135 million. 8:18 is your time. Coming up, it's a new boat landing for everyone. We'll show you a new disability-friendly lakeside pier. And 2 years after a gruesome construction accident took his arm, a Wisconsin man is now recovering and sharing his story. A lesson in perseverance and positivity when News 3 This Morning, Saturday, continues.
And today continues to be an alert day as we track the heat and humidity moving into town this afternoon. It'll feel like anywhere from 95 to 102 degrees. So make sure that you are staying hydrated and reducing the outdoor activity. It's a better day to stay indoors. Heat advisories in effect all the way from the lakeshore back towards the Mississippi River Valley. That includes us here in Madison. Here's what it's going to feel like as we get you, or it'll feel like 95 as we get you into the afternoon. By Sunday morning, feeling like mid-80s already. Triple-digit heat is what it's going to feel like by the time we get you to Sunday afternoon. Josh.
All right, thanks, Chris. With a hot weekend in store for southern Wisconsin, you might want to check out a new boat landing at a Dane County park. The new landing is on Fish Lake at Lucier County Park. It features more stalls compared to the old landing, ADA access parking, and an ADA access path to the boat pier.
So this helps open up a beautiful park that hopefully more people will be able to discover and come and take advantage of.
The project cost $620,000. $420,000 of that comes from Dane County, and the additional funding comes from a DNR grant. The county says it is looking at improving Crystal Lake in the future. 8:23 right now, 2 years after a Black Creek, Wisconsin man's arm was severed in a highway construction incident. He's telling his story and thanking the doctors who reattached his arm. That man is Tim Schrader, and he could teach us all a lesson in positivity and perseverance. Gabrielle Mays shares his road to recovery.
I can do this, and I got a little nerve pain, but you go here, and I jump. And my whole hand in the palm is really bad.
Tim Schrader still feels pain in his arm, but he remembers a time when it was a lot worse.
Probably about 15 times I wish they would cut it off because the pain was so bad. But you just live through it.
Schrader's been in the construction business for 30 years, but that all changed 2 years ago while working on the 441 expansion project.
What we were working on, the beam slipped out and cut my arm off.
First responders managed to apply a tourniquet to Schrader's upper arm and put ice on the portion of the arm that he lost. Shortly after the incident, he ended up at Theta Care. Surgery lasted about 5 hours as doctors reattached Schrader's arm.
When there's an injury like this, the artery will be damaged over a big segment, so we'll need to only use the artery that's good on either side, which leaves a gap.
Surgeons used a vein from Schrader's leg. Dr. Matthew Butler says reattaching a limb comes with risks.
That is not always an easy decision to make. It can actually be potentially dangerous and life-threatening in the wrong circumstances.
Doctors say Schrader's had a remarkable recovery, but the process hasn't been easy.
I mean, even playing with my 3 grandchildren. I used to sit there and roughhouse them and lay on the floor, put them up in the air, put them up on my arms and lift. I can't do that. And that's what really hurts me.
Despite the challenges, Schrader doesn't have any plans to give up.
I'm not going to quit.
Schrader says he's grateful for his doctors, and while he can raise his arm and move his wrist, he's still working on gaining control of his hand and fingers. Time now, 8:25. Coming up, we'll have this morning's top stories, including the road closures that could make your trip to and from downtown a little trickier this morning. Plus, the lesson learned from this week's primaries that could spell danger for candidates who voice their opposition to President Trump. We're looking ahead to the midterm elections next on News 3 This Morning, Saturday. Right now, the dangers of opposing President Trump. After a slew of primaries, more and more candidates are learning that crossing the president has consequences. What it could mean for the upcoming midterm elections.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, just before 8:30 now on this June 15th. I'm Josh Breiter. Welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. Chris has your hot and humid forecast in just a moment, but first, let's get you caught up on this morning's headlines. It was certainly an active night in and around the Madison area. You probably heard it at home. Powerful thunderstorms knocked down large tree branches. This tree nearly split in half. Just before 12:30, the National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning for all of Dane County. The flooding was evident. Madison police reported covered streets, stalled vehicles, and downed trees citywide. It caused a strain on city emergency services. Right now, there are quite a few projects and events going on that could affect your drive this weekend. Westbound traffic heading away from the Capitol on West Washington won't be able to go straight through Proudfoot Street and Regent Street. This is the area behind the Kohl Center close to the Budget Bicycle Shop. Lanes will be closed through 7 o'clock Monday morning so crews can replace concrete there. On the other side of the Capitol Square, East Mifflin Street is now closed between North Patterson and North Brewerly Streets. This is ahead of tonight's Steely Dan Doobie Brothers concert at Breese Stevens Field. Northbound North Patterson will also be closed starting this afternoon between East Washington and East Mifflin. Both are expected to reopen by 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Also in downtown Madison today, you'll want to keep an eye out for people running across the street with canoes. It's the 39th annual Isthmus Paddle and Portage Race. Canoers paddle for a mile loop around Lake Mendota, then take off on foot from James Madison Park across the Isthmus to Lake Monona. From there, they paddle for 2.5 miles to the finish line at Old Brick Park. So, of course, expect some traffic delays between 9 and 11 this morning. It's a good thing that race is happening early in the day. It's going to be a hot one out there, Chris.
That's right, it sure will be. I want to go ahead and just show off our buddy at the zoo. He has the right idea there. There are polar bears swimming around, and if you are concerned about the heat, just think back to the fact that in mid-April there was a blizzard in Wisconsin, and now it is the other end of the story. Temperatures in the 70s right now, 73 here in Madison. We jump back to the west just a little bit. 80s starting to make themselves known. Boscobel and Paris du Chien both coming in at 80 degrees right now. But here's what it'll feel like as we go into the afternoon. 90 by lunchtime, 95 by the time we get you into the peak heating of the day here in Madison. Back to the west, the further west you are, the closer to 100 it'll actually feel. Your Father's Day will be a scorcher as well, feeling like 89 by 9. And then into your Father's Day afternoon, triple-digit heat is what it'll feel like pretty much for all of us out there. So make sure you are drinking plenty of that water as you can if you're headed into downtown to enjoy the festivities this weekend. So far, traffic is moving smoothly on the Beltline, so that's good news. No delays showing up in the meantime other than your typical slow spots. Even the delays that were showing up downtown have cleared for now, but I do expect those to increase once again, especially as we go later on into the morning with more of those activities taking shape. But across Dane County as a whole, it all looks smooth. It's going to take you about your normal drive time this morning. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. Right now, the State Department of Transportation is reminding drivers to keep an eye out for buckling pavement this weekend. The DOT says it's difficult to predict where the buckles will happen, but the problem is most common during the first major heat waves of the season. With this heat wave, be sure to get your forecast on the go with our Channel 3000 weather app. Our accurate 12-hour and 10-day forecast, all for free, available now in the App Store. This week's primary elections have come and gone, but they may be an important sign of what's to come this November and in 2020. Speaker and Wisconsin native Paul Ryan is brushing off the Trump effect, but for other politicians, it is unescapable. Tom Foreman looks ahead.
I'm running for Congress to get things done, not to go on CNN to bash President Trump.
In South Carolina, Republican Katie Arrington rode her praise of President Trump to a swift primary victory over incumbent Congressman Mark Sanford, a Trump critic. The final push coming 3 hours before the vote. Mark Sanford has been very unhelpful to me. Vote Katie.
It may have cost me an election in this case, but I stand by every one of those decisions to disagree with the president.
Thank you, Virginia! In Virginia?
Want to stand with President Trump? There is only one choice.
Corey Stewart took the Trump train to victory by adding tough talk on immigration to his already controversial support for Confederate memorials, prompting celebration from the White House and sadness from a former lieutenant governor. I am extremely disappointed. This is clearly not the Republican Party I once knew. And just a week ago in Alabama, another incumbent Congressmember, Martha Roby, was forced into a runoff, fallout from her criticism of Trump. At the Capitol, Republican Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, is trying to brush off the Trump effect.
That's just what happens in contested primaries.
But while just over 40% of Americans approve of the president's performance, among Republicans, that number is more than twice as high.
Donald Trump's popularity with Republicans is unprecedented.
We're in a strange place. I mean, it's almost, it's becoming a cultish thing, isn't it?
Tennessee Senator Bob Corker complains that now his party won't even back measures it supports unless Trump does too.
We might poke the bear. The president might get upset with us as United States senators.
For some Republicans, the trend is a seismic, unwelcome, and unwise shift. But in the primary winners' circle, the message is different. Get over it, get in line, get used to it.
We are the party of President Donald J. Trump.
The next election in Wisconsin, the party primaries, is scheduled for August 21st. The nationwide midterm elections are set for November 6th. 8:35 this morning, it's Father's Day Eve, and spending for the June holidays expected to hit near record levels. But as always, there are those last-minute stragglers. If you're among the crowd still shopping for a gift for Dad, you're in luck. How you can find some last-minute Father's Day ideas for the golf lover in your life. That's just ahead on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
and evening, so do be prepared for that heat as it comes on through here. It's record territory heat as well. In fact, for Sunday, the record high 93, the forecast 94. So it's one of those situations where a degree or two does make a difference, and we will be watching that difference as it comes through the next couple of days. After we get through this heat, things finally begin to cool off towards next week. It'll actually feel more like a Wisconsin summer.
All right, Chris, thank you. Father's Day is just a day away, but if you haven't picked up something special for Dad, you're in luck. We've got Sean Finley, the director of golf at the Oaks this morning. You've got some last-minute gift ideas, and I feel like this is always a great gift for Dad. I know for my dad, this is always a go-to.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things you can get for Dad. Time is not running out on you. Any budget, we can fit your needs. So if you're looking for something for Dad, especially for the golf course and even off the golf course, if it's golf related, we've got you covered.
So you've got kind of a whole spread of stuff. What are kind of the more popular things, and kind of you can kind of talk us through us here?
Yeah, so you can go all the way from clubs, bags, if you're going maybe a little bit higher on the budget, and then you can bring it all the way down to items under $15, $20, hats, towels. Gift cards are great. We do a lot with gift cards. It's always a good idea. Let Dad choose his gift. So there's just a plethora of options that you can come in. Shoes as well. So we can get them fitted pretty well.
And it sounds like obviously you have a little bit of everything right here. So it's kind of one of those things, whatever Dad needs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So whether it's something golf specific or even off the golf course, from a sweatshirt to t-shirts to shorts, golf shirts he can wear. You know, there's even brewer-related items that they brand with the golf manufacturers, so a lot of fun items.
I know there's some things that are a little bit easier to get, but then there's some things that Dad might want to pick out himself, and that's probably when you said the gift card idea might come into play.
Yeah, exactly. The gift cards are great, so if you're unsure, you can get them, you know, at our course at the Oaks, we do a gift card where you can do it for anything, so it's basically like a debit card to the golf course, so if he just wants to have a fun day, he can use that on greens fees, on drinks, food and beverage, anything like that, or he can buy merchandise too, so it kind of opens the door for him.
And I know there's kind of always a lot of options. What are kind of the brands you guys carry and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so we do from the club side, Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Cobra, and then apparel-wise, we do a lot with Adidas and Under Armour, your bigger manufacturers. Really popular, great quality, so you can't miss with it.
You know, what are kind of probably the hottest items out there right now? It seems like every year there's kind of a new thing. Anything you guys are seeing right now?
Yeah, equipment-wise, it's always popular. There's always the latest trends in equipment, from drivers to putters to irons. Apparel-wise, performance fabrics on a day like today when the heat's up. This stuff is fantastic. It's breathable. It lets you sweat. It doesn't stain or anything like that. It's easy to wear. It's light. Even from shorts to hats, same thing. Shoes, same thing. Very comfortable. We've gotten away from more of traditional spikes where you can go spikeless, where it's more free motion. It's almost like a tennis shoe. I wear them during the day, so it's great. But a lot of great stuff out there. Again, a lot of things you can't go wrong with.
Well, if our folks watching this morning see something they like, or if they have any questions, how can they get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, they can visit us at golftheoaks.com, or otherwise they can call us in the golf shop. They can always stop out, or otherwise they can give us a call, like I said, 608-837-4774.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah,
some great last minute for those stragglers,
yeah,
right?
I appreciate it. Yeah, there's still time. Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Sean, thanks. Well, looking for something to do this weekend, we have you covered. It's a musical weekend in the city of Madison, from a musical performance to a history-making one. The sights and sounds you won't want to miss. Your weekend at 6:08 is next on News 3 This Morning, Saturday. But first, let's look at Who's 3 today.
Sizzle, spice, yet sky conditions that are oh so nice. These were the ingredients used to create the perfect heat wave, and it's headed right here to South Central Wisconsin. Heat advisories in effect for all of us. They go into effect at 1 o'clock today. They will last through 7 o'clock on Sunday. We zoom out just a little bit. You go up towards the Twin Cities. That is where an excessive heat warning is in effect. The St. Louis area also has an excessive heat warning. Heat advisory stretching all the way down the Mississippi River corridor back towards Kansas City and Omaha, Nebraska. Millions of people are going to be experiencing this heat for this time of the year, along with the humidity. It feels like 88 in St. Louis right now, 74 in Chicago, and we'll watch these heat indices continue to climb as you go through the day. What we're also watching is the increasing dew points. These dew points that are in the 70s essentially create air that feels oppressive as you step outside. It will continue to do so. 73 the temperature outside right now, winds out of the southwest at 13. That southwest wind is what's also going to be helping to usher in a lot of that heat and humidity as we go throughout the day. The dew point at 66 here in Madison right now. We go back towards the west. Temperatures continue to climb into the 80s. Paris Duchesne now at 81 degrees. We'll see how these temperatures all rise into the low 90s as we go throughout the day. In fact, by lunchtime, temperatures will be in the upper 80s to 90s as we get you out towards the west. All of us pretty much in the 90s by the time we get you into the afternoon and evening. Overnight, temperatures will be slow to cool. By midnight, temperatures around 80, 2:30 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. It will still be in the upper 70s. With the humidity, here's where it feels a whole lot warmer. 90 degrees by lunchtime today, 95 this afternoon. Triple digits starting to show up, especially across the west. Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up, it'll feel like near 90 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. Triple digit heat pretty much taking over South Central Wisconsin. So this afternoon, your actual air temperature 90. It'll feel a whole lot warmer than 90 degrees. That's the reason for the alert day. We'll have another alert day on Sunday and Monday, tracking that heat and humidity. By Monday night, we finally get a round of thunderstorms to move through. That will work to cool us off. So Monday night, we'll hear the noise, we'll see the lightning and the thunder and all of that good jazz again. Hopefully it will not be as destructive as last night with the flooding, but we'll keep a close eye on that because there is a potential for some strong showers and thunderstorms. That'll last through Tuesday morning. Tuesday, we don't get out of the 70s, more like Wisconsin weather after that.
You showed the polar bear earlier. I feel like a lot of people are going to be wishing they were the polar bear in that water.
They are going to be wishing they were the polar bear. In fact, your pet walk forecast, this is going to be me this afternoon, just staying inside, chilling on that couch. I'm not about this heat today.
Not at all. All right,
Absolutely.
Chris, thank you. Well, we've been asking you to share your morning with us. Linda Kruger posted this on Facebook. No sun this morning, but a beautiful bleeding heart, tulips, and fresh asparagus. That's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing, Linda. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites right here on News 3 This Morning. It is the weekend here in the 608.
And here's a look at what's going on in and around the area.
Any reason is a good reason to celebrate Madison, but the Madison Reunion is one special celebration running through today. It's being called A Party with a Purpose and marks 50 years since the 1960s redefined the city. You can check out films from that era, including the documentary about 1960s Madison called The War at Home. All screening is happening at Vilas Hall on campus. There will also be live music on the Memorial Union Terrace. Tonight is a 60s sing-along with dueling pianos.
And another music option around town that's calling all Harry Potter fans. The Madison Symphony Orchestra will perform the John Williams score to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets as the film is shown at Overture Hall Saturday night and again Sunday afternoon. You can experience the second book in the Harry Potter series like you never have before. Catch the magic tonight at 8 or tomorrow at 1.
Considered Madison's Grammy Awards. Find out who was voted the best Madison musicians of 2018 at Sunday night's 15th Annual Madison Area Music Association Awards. John Urban hosts and great performances are scheduled all night. It's a celebration of the top talent in the city. Again, that's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at the Capitol Theater at Overture.
And as always, you can pick up a copy of this month's Madison magazine for all of the best of the Madison area.
8:50 this morning. There's still more to come here on News 3 This Morning Saturday. And tonight at 6 and 10, we'll head to the Juneteenth parade, how local communities are marking the occasion. But first, one last lesson before summer break. Not in math or science, but in kindness. It's an uplifting story you won't want to miss when News 3 This Morning Saturday returns. Welcome back at 8:54. For some students in New York, the school year ended this week, but not before they got one life lesson.
That's right. It wasn't in math or science, but a lesson in kindness. Kelly Curtin has the story.
This is my rock. It says laugh often.
A cat and a mouse to show friendship and
To these 4 Camden Elementary School students, the word kindness has many meanings.
Kindness means doing something and not expecting someone to give back to you.
Kindness means to me that it's somebody being nice to you and it shows that somebody cares about you.
An art project allowed kids from pre-K to 4th grade to paint an inspirational message on rocks. Outside of the building, you'll find those rocks in the colorful Camden Character Corner.
This one's Dream Big.
The space is meant to spread love and positivity through the halls of the school, teaching kids how to support one another.
They're going to have that basis of respect and compassion, and we're going to have less issues with bullying and with school violence, that by teaching them to be kind right as they start, that's going to carry with them for the rest of their lives.
Principal Sharon Kirch says these rocks are part of the initiative Cougars for Character, which started last year. Kids learn good character traits, and every month a ceremony is held to honor those who demonstrate that behavior. She says this corner helps focus on the positive instead of the negative with personalized messages.
The multi-sensory activity that it was to paint, and the smell that came with it, and the talk, the conversation they had with other kids, the socialization, I believe it will live with them.
As the school year is almost over, these thoughtful words will stay with each kid.
If you walk by, you might see a rock, and if you're having a bad day, you might look at it and think, Wow. Mine says life is beautiful.
As they continue to grow and learn to spread loving kindness. In Camden, I'm Kelly Curtin.
And a couple things to note here before you head out the door this morning. We've got reports of flooding in the parking lots and strip malls on University Avenue. The Whole Foods there is closed, and really just heavy rain overnight. It woke me up for sure.
That's right. It was a lot of heavy rain, although oddly enough, that will help keep us a little cooler but more humid as we go into the afternoon. We'll keep the alert day going. It'll feel like 95 to 102 across southern Wisconsin throughout pretty much all of today. Hour by hour, here's how the heat indices will react there by 4. Temperatures reaching 95 or feeling like 95 out there. For tomorrow, we can add more to this, probably about 8 to 10 degrees to those heat indices. Ooh. I know there's a bead of sweat on my forehead, and it's not the studio lights, it's the forecast, I promise. Now get this, temperatures also in record territory as well, especially as we go through the weekend. By Sunday, we could maybe beat the record. We'll see. If it's going to be hot, let's just go all in, right? Let's celebrate something for the Father's Day. Maybe we'll just have one of the hottest Sundays there, or the hottest day for June 17th there. And then, of course, by the time we get you towards Tuesday, temperatures coming way back down over the next 10 days, temperatures trending down. It's going to feel a whole lot more like Wisconsin at this point. There are also some rain chances in there. We'll keep a close eye on that Monday night into Tuesday rain chance solely because we could see some strong thunderstorms with that one. And of course, we don't want to see what we just saw last night with the flooding and the damaging wind as well.
All right, and with this heat wave, be sure to get your forecast on the go this weekend with our Channel 3000 weather app. You can get everything you need to know right there. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert weather app and start planning.